7 minutes to 9 o'clock. Well, play is right. That's this year's theme for World Play Day, which is today, the 28th of May.
Yeah, 28th of May. I must remember that one. Here to tell us more is Onyi Nwaneri from the organization Afrika Tikkun to talk about play. So, World Play Day. It's the first time I'm hearing about World Play Day, I must say, Onyi. So, what are we asking people to do? What are we asking parents and kids and adults and kids to do today?
Thank you for having me. World Play Day is a day that specially was recognized by the United Nations, what you would call the UNICEF itself. And the idea is to encourage children to play, to create awareness around play, to recognize in today particularly that play is a basic human right of children. In fact, play is as a human right, as the right of equality and freedom for human beings in general. Children learn through play, children grow through play, they develop competences through play.
Yeah, I guess we haven't heard about it because it's sort of growing. About 40 countries currently in the world are celebrating it. Now, Afrika Tikkun, as an NGO that's on the ground, what are the things that help children when they play? What have you found is useful about them playing?
We as Afrika Tikkun, our focus is to develop young people from cradle to career. That means we want children to meet their age-appropriate developmental milestones. There's something that a child needs to do at every stage of their development from the moment they are born. And what we found and research from the United Nations and educational specialists is that if children play, they learn to communicate with the world. They learn to engage with the world. They start negotiating, exploring, communicating. There's a whole lot. If you look at all the developmental milestones, you've got gross motor skills, fine motor skills, cognitive skills. And as children are playing, believe it or not, they are beginning to develop those skills because there is tactile. They are jumping as they're climbing those things. You think they are beginning to hold on to something, which means that they are beginning to develop their tactile. So play is, and like adults have to go to school, or young children need to go to school to learn. Play is the primary ingredient to develop the different categories of skills that young people need, whether it's life skills or developmental skills, plus education, including counting, numeracy and literacy skills, colors, because as you're playing, you're identifying different colors, etc. And therefore, play, it's not negotiable. It's a human right for young people in order to get them where we need them to be.
Now, I have two little ones, Onyi at home. I mean, 7 and almost 10. They are writing exams. So the fights in my house between my husband and myself is how much of time, when do we study and when do we play, and how much of time do we give to play? So how do we balance what needs to be done at a desk with books and how much time needs to be spent outside doing all the things that you just spoke about?
So for us as Afrika Tikkun, we normally encourage parents to look into a routine, because if you don't make time for it, it's never going to happen. While the formal academics is important and that you need to make time for it to study and to do your homeworks and to prepare for your exams, but you need to set aside between 30 minutes to an hour, if not more, to play with your children. Also, by playing with your children, you demonstrate love. You demonstrate that they can learn at their own pace. You provide confidence that they take into the school environment, including their exams. In fact, one of the things we're trying to encourage parents not to do a lot is screen time. Yeah. Majority of parents want to sit in front of the TV and watch a movie. In fact, when they are distracted, they give their children a tablet or their phone so that their children will be swiping up and down. And we say, don't do that. Rather, as a parent, as much as you can, when you come back from work, spend 30 minutes, an hour outside of homework and do something fun with your kids.
Yeah, and I guess, and there's also time pressures. I'm just thinking about my own childhood now, as you were talking, how many trees in Soweto we used to climb in the neighborhood to steal the peaches from the neighbor's peach tree and the
I don't know if you can call that play.
Whilst
anyway.
our parents, we were playing, climbing trees and stealing peaches and apricots from the neighbor's trees, but our parents were away, you know, working because of commuting from Joburg into the township in Soweto. So you spend most of your time playing with friends and stuff like that. But I think the most important point you made here, sitting in front of a video game is not playing with your child.
No, it's not.
That's the very important, because today we live in a high-tech world. Some parents go, oh, I spend some time with my own, it's quality time. We're playing something together. No, you meaning out and about in the outdoors, doing something that's going to encourage learning of sorts and helping them have a good lifestyle of balance.
Exactly that. One of the reasons why we have put, or the United Nations have put a specific date for play is to recognize that play is important and to create awareness around play. Play doesn't necessarily need to be outside in the wild. Better if you're doing it outside, in your playground, outside of your house, in a picnic setting.
In a park.
You can also in a park, but you can also do it in your house. Look at games that would stimulate a child's cognitive development. For example, playing puzzles together with them. That starts stimulating their cognitive development. Looking at things like Scrabbles, finding opportunities. The most important is when you're doing it, it shouldn't feel like work. It should feel like fun.
Yeah, play must be fun.
If I can tell you, I can't even count the number of Uno games I've played in the past couple of weeks.
Well,
in the evening.
Yeah, there's more games you can get into. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.